Come on, come on. We're live. Welcome. Give everybody a few minutes to pop in. Let's get everybody's good cheer. Let's find out what everybody is, what's been going on with everybody. And yeah, say hi. Let's see who beats Andrew in tonight. Actually, I'm not sure. Andrew's picking up extra shifts at work and stuff, so that's obviously a priority, right? We want to make sure that everybody gets their hours in, whoever needs to be working and everything. At my work, we're going down to 6 people allowed in the store at any given time. What do I got on my cheek? Oh my gosh, evidence. That was probably exactly what it was. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, we're going down to only allowing 6 people in the store at any given time, not including the staff. So that's going to slow the sales down, right? And because we're having at around 400 people a day catching the virus now, quite a few, right? Quite a few. So it's likely we're probably going to have to shut down. We're probably going to have to shut down the province for 14 days. I think that's the only option we really have, isn't it? I don't know what other kind of solution other states and everything are putting out there for ways to stop people from getting the virus, because yeah, I think Manitoba could use a little bit of help right now, right? You know, these are times like now is when I'm grateful that I live on my own. Like, I don't have people. Once I'm done with work, I come home and, there's nobody around me. I'm not going to get sick. We actually have 2 healthcare workers in this building that I live in, right? And yes, I still have a roof over my head. Sorry for the reflection in my glasses. This is a really old prescription. They're transitions also. Yeah, I ruined my glasses. I needed new glasses anyway, but this is an old prescription. So not only is there a glare, yeah, I'm not seeing and being able to write. And, when I'm on Instagram and stuff, I'm having a hard time seeing the letters and stuff, but you do the best that you can, right? You do the best that you can. And I was very grateful that I actually had this spare set of glasses kicking around. Otherwise, I would be in big doo-doo, wouldn't I? Yeah. Say hi when you pop in. And yeah, let's start our conversation. I've been doing a little bit of packing, right? A little bit of packing and a little bit of cleaning, a little bit of donating a little bit, and all the cats playing in the cat litter box, doing a little bit of donating. Today I went for a little bit of a walk. I've been trying to get outside every single day. I hope everybody, if you're capable of getting outside, even if it's not nature, even if you can go to the neighborhood dog park or just go sit at the kiddie park, anywheres where there's a nice view, anywheres where there's a bench and the wind, like any little bit helps at this point, right? So I was very grateful I was able to get out, and I walked a few miles to the grocery store and stuff and picked up my groceries, and then went to the drugstore and picked up my bus pass for next month. I don't know how much good it's going to do me. I'm just right. I only need another month. If I could go another month, then I might be okay. But before then, yeah, I'll be in trouble, just like the rest of the country, right? But it's not like anything new. It's not anything new for me, right? I've been doing this for how long now? How long? I think you guys have known me always to struggle. Incredible, though, that I'm keeping my channel going and I don't even have a car, right? My sister's took my car away from me and then she sold it, right? So what can you do? I'm just grateful for the amount of time that I did have that car, and I'm very grateful for all the fun and joy and peace of mind and insight that I was able to enjoy that car as much as I did. On my Instagram, I keep saying I'm going to win that that McDonald's car. Trailblazer. It's the Trailblazer. I need one more ticket for the Trailblazer. So cross your fingers, everybody. But pop in, let me know where you're from. If you haven't been on my channel before, my name's Cindy. I kind of explore the inside and I explore the outside. Love nature, love history. I love mindset and mindfulness. I love, delving for the answers, for the deep emotional answers. I love practicing emotional intelligence, right? It's so important for these time and ages. And, there's a few of us online practicing, and it's so great, because we're going to be teaching other people to do the same thing, right? And to be able to have that calmness in the storms, be able to just kind of, not say whatever happens. You got to help yourself along the way, but not to let it stress you out, not to let your blood pressure, your health, especially when there's people out there losing loved ones, not just to the coronavirus, but to other illnesses and procedures that they might have had to have canceled because of the virus and stuff. And so they ended up having casualties and stuff. Like, there's so much for us to be grateful. As bad as any of us has it, we got to think of what we actually do have, right? Yeah. But I made myself a cup of coffee. We usually go for an hour and a half on Sunday nights. I do my live shows on Instagram various times during the day, but that one's only 20 minutes, half an hour, depending if I kind of get into a flow. Sometimes I go for like 40 minutes. The past 2 days I've been going for 40, 50 minutes, but I don't write. If I don't write, then it's hard for me to want to leave Instagram because it's my only time to connect, right? I can make that effort to do stories or reels or anything, right? But there are other things that I want to be doing with my life, right? And I keep adding to my plate these things, then what's going to happen? I'm just going to end up having to take them away because I'm going to be off doing other things. And of course, me showing the journey, right? Me showing everybody the journey of me trying to be some kind of media mogul, right? And learn just to build my own brand. Been building my brand, and it has been transforming into something absolutely beautiful and absolutely unexpected, truly unexpected, right? And I'm very grateful to actually still have my brand going, because a lot of people, when I joined up and when I came online, very few people made it through, like as far as I have, right? And I've been consistent every single week, right? And it's not been easy lots of times, right? Lots of times it hasn't been easy, but then you got to think, right? There are so many people out there going through very, very difficult things, and they're going to be different things that I struggle with, right? The things that bother me and the things that stress me out. Some people would say, oh, that would be such a breeze, just as if I would see their problems and think the same thing, right? Especially, I'm watching a lot of content, a lot of people with all this coronavirus going on and all these stresses and things going on in the outside world there. I've kind of taken an interest, like, it's what I do, right? And I listen to these people, and, my dream is to help the great thought leaders, right, out there, just kind of work in the background, helping them out, because what they have is a very stressful job, right? And when they do these jobs with limiting beliefs of their own or insecurities, or they've read too many of their comments or listened to too many nasty people saying negative things about them, it breaks them down a little bit. But then, they're entrepreneurs and thought leaders and healers and, great people out there that put their thoughts out there, and then they end up having little issues themselves, right? So I always wanted to figure that I could be the one in the background, just being kind of sorting that kind of that stuff out so that they can go off and do their job, right? Because I will get a little bit of that credit of them being able to do their job properly, right? Will give me my brownie points, and then I could live my life outside of that. And of course, I take everybody along for the journey, right? Because that's what it's all about, is just, sharing the journey with everybody. Pop in, say hi, right? Let me know where you're from if you wanna come in and take over for Andrew for a little bit, because he had to work tonight, right? He's picking up shifts, and it's probably, I know Andrew. I've known Andrew for 6 years. This is probably eating him up, and he will be here. Melvin, you're in charge. Melvin, I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to see you today, right? I hope your week has been going really, really well. And what are you doing here, Melvin? What are you doing on my live? Don't you just gobble up politics? Aren't those presidential candidates? I was just watching Trump, at his rally. I can't believe the rallies and how tight everybody is at these rallies. It's just absolutely crazy. Nothing like that would be even allowed to happen here in Canada. But I thought you would be. I know you liked your politics, Melvin. So, I thought for sure you would be. You would be like listening to those two go off, right? Was it Biden? Is it Biden and Trump? I don't really follow the politics, but I went in just because I saw the thumbnail and I saw the thousands of people crammed into that stadium like they were sardines. And I'm going, oh my gosh, well, the coronavirus must have been cured in the States, because obviously the president wouldn't allow something like that to happen. Of course he wouldn't, right? So that's what I was thinking. Why do we have to worry, Melvin? Because, I'm not really politically inclined. Like, I don't want to turn my live show into like politics bashing, but, I would like to be informed, right? Definitely. Oh, my dad loved the Liberals. So I guess we better not talk politics tonight, eh, Melvin? So this was your time just to come in and just to unwind from all the stress of the politics going on in the world right now, amongst other things, right? Amongst other things. Oh, right, the pipeline, right? And they want to run that into the States, don't they? Oh, I just made a cup of coffee. Today I bought real cream. I've been using Coffee Mate now for a few months, and it's been helping lots. I don't know what it's been helping with, but I feel better not doing the cream, right? I've been trying to cut back on the cream. And today I bought cream, and I'm really, really enjoying it, right? I'm really enjoying it, but we'll see. We'll see how my stomach feels tomorrow. It's my day off tomorrow. So, as we get older, we don't handle dairy as well as we did when we were younger. I got to notice that quite early, probably 10 years ago, I noticed I couldn't do cheese very well. And then I couldn't do ice cream very well. And then what do? I need to go to 18% cream for my coffees, right? Which make my coffees very yum, but still I don't think it's very good on the intestines for me, because I think I've got a little bit of that lactose intolerance, right? My hot chup here, my early pop bottle, I gave it to my work for they're doing a Coca-Cola auction in the window. So I thought I'd bring my pop bottle, right? Even though it's Blackwoods, which was the Pepsi company, right? But so they're going to save it for their Winnipeg. They're doing a Winnipeg auction in their windows. And because the bottle says Winnipeg right across, and it's like one of the oldest pop bottles here in Canada, and I found one this past summer, so I donated it to my work so that they can put it up for auction in an auction window for next month. Yeah, so it should be pretty nice. Yeah. And it should go really well. Like it should go really well because I don't think too many people have seen those bottles here in Winnipeg. They're fairly rare. Yeah, 1880 to 1917, and I think my bottle's around 1900, 1990 because that's what everything is coming out of the pocket that I'm digging out of, right? Is that age, that date, right? So I'm all done with my bottle digging for the winter, which is kind of sad because I was having so much fun and it relieves so much stress off of me, just to be able to, on those really bad days when I was freaking out about the roof over my head and stuff, that I could just be able to get out of my house and go down to the riverbank to my secret spot. Well, it wasn't really secret because the bus ferries from the forts were going up and down that river every 10 minutes, right? So they saw me clearly with my garden tools hacking away at the bank, right? So much fun. So much fun. I even found medicine bottles and they were still full of blue, blackish medicine inside, and the cork was still in there. I had to drain them because you don't know if they're probably poison, and I don't want that stuff in my house, right? But I need to find a good way to make my glass on my medicines and on my beer bottles really clear so that I can see right through them, right? But I'm very pleased. They got that hutch, and that's a pretty rare bottle. So I'm pleased that I donated it. And I hope whoever wins that auction, right, pays lots and lots of money. Number one, pays lots and lots of money for the auction, but at the same time, really loves it and takes care of it and passes it along, through the history of their families even, right? Let's see what Malvin's got to say. Okay, how are the dairies doing? What do you think with that, Melvin? Because I know here lately they've been having great big deals on eggs. Like, you can get a 30 flat of eggs for under $5 here in Winnipeg, right? So I was wondering if there's like an overabundance of produce and stuff like that. So, if we can expect prices like, what do you call that, local product, the price is coming down, and then the out of the country products. Like, I'm really wondering what this is going to do to the price of coffee, right? Bringing in coffee and jobs in general. Like, we already have those trucks that drive themselves, right? No need for even truck drivers anymore. It's safer just to have these vehicles that just drive to destination all on their own, right? And supposedly they drive really well. I was actually watching a couple of videos of them actually running those great big semi trucks. But yeah, they seem to be driving just as well, maybe even better because they don't have to stop, right? They don't have to stop to sleep or anything. These big trucks just keep going until they hit their generation or their destination. Plus, they're not spreading the virus, right? Because in the beginning of here in Manitoba, our virus was being passed on by the truck drivers bringing product up from the States, right? But then it got really bad. It spread pretty good. that's your splurge on politics. That's so cute, Melvin. Right? Just get it out of your system, right? It's Sunday night. Like, wow, I'm actually quite amazed that you even made it in with, especially with all the politics going on in the world today. And not just in our country, all over the place. I heard that they're doing another lockdown in Great Britain with the virus. I heard they're doing another lockdown. So that's pretty crazy. I think they should do the same thing here in Manitoba. Truthfully, lock the whole province down for 14 days, right? Everybody has to stay away. Everybody has to self-isolate for 14 days. It's the only thing we could do. People are dying. every day people are dying. So, it's time for this virus to be squashed and to be taken care of. And it would be better if the whole country did it, but for sure, Manitoba, we know how to struggle. We'll know how to get back to work really fast. We know how to put roof over our heads. There's nothing to worry about. We'll be okay, right? If we make the right decisions. And I think the right decision here at this point is just to shut the city down for 14 days. Let's get those 2 weeks over and done with, right? Let's just get those 2 weeks over and done with. And we'll just keep our borders shut for the rest of the course of this virus. We'll just use those truck drivers, right? Without the real truck drivers. The big trucks, transport trucks without the truck drivers, and we'll use those, right? And we'll just stop the virus from coming into our province. It makes sense to do that. 14 days. We're going to suffer all year. We're going to suffer all year if we don't squash this in the butt, right? Oh, okay. There's Andrew. Hi, Andrew. How are you tonight? Melvin was holding up the ship today. I told him you were probably working late, right? Because you let me know last week that you were going to be late too. You emailed me, right? Is everybody doing okay? And it was nice to see you on Nancy's Halloween party. What did you think of that, Andrew? Oh, and Owen's here too. Hi, Owen. Awesome. Thank you, Owen, for hanging out with us at Nancy's Halloween party, right? She never told anybody about it, but Nancy's wheelchair conked out on her. $3,000 chair, and her chair conked out. And she did that Halloween party feeling all blue and stuff, right? Because of it. Yeah, so hopefully somebody can help her out, and hopefully she's, they said not to expect her to come into our lives tonight. But I know Nancy, she'll try if she can, but in truth, she's got to save as much money as she can because she's got some expensive repairs that she needs to get done on that wheelchair of hers. Yeah. So Andrew, you pray for her. You guys pray for her, right? Like I'm sending good mojo and everything, but Nancy, she's taken a lot of kicks in the past 2 years, like a lot of kicks with her health, with the staph infection, with the seizures, being in the chair, having the riots. She just got her notice to vacate her housing, right? Her federal housing. She just got notice to vacate that. And where she was supposed to move to live in, their 200-year-old home in Louisiana got wiped out by a hurricane, right? And now her chair goes on her. But she sure did put on a good chair, right? A good Halloween party. And it gets us to thinking too. Doesn't it get us to thinking, guys, about how grateful we should actually be? Because there are a lot of people taking the hits, right? Taking the hits like that. And, like, what do you call that? Just taking the sins of others and stuff, just having those miserable lives and all that bad stuff. And you guys know, because you guys do the same thing, right? Like I know Owen taking care of his mom and being isolated and not having a life for himself, right? Because, he's dedicated his life to service for his mom and stuff, right? And then Andrew with his brother, and you guys have health issues too, right? I was actually thinking, Owen, do you like trains? I thought because you like to tinker around and stuff that maybe you would be a good candidate to have that as a hobby, right? I was actually thinking that, Owen, when we were talking about hobbies and stuff, and I'm going, you know what? I thought that you would really like to pick up that hobby. It might be a good one for you. You should think about it. Oh, did Nancy make it? Take care, Nancy. Take care of yourself, dear. Take care and save every bit of data that you can hold on. Sending you lots of love. Sending you lots of love. Oh, poor Nancy, right? You know, like I said, she takes those kicks, but she gives. She's always giving, 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 right? Oh, our pleasure, Nancy. Just like you do for us. Like we're a team, right? Like we're all pulling through for you. And Nancy, something great is going to happen. I know you're going to get a big chunk of something and you're going to get that chair fixed and you're going to get to Louisiana with your train set and life is going to be good for you, right? Just keep smiling and just keep saying that, Nancy, and be determined and know that that's going to happen. Yeah. So don't waste any data. Go home or shut off for the night. And yeah, know that we're thinking of you, right? Yeah. That Nancy, right? Always there for people, right? She put on a big Halloween party with her train set and everything. And it was really lots and lots of fun, right? It was lots of fun. Yeah, but and I was actually thinking of that for you, because I was thinking that would be a great hobby for Owen, especially, when he's down there, right? And he could build his own platforms and everything. Bye, Nancy. Don't waste your data. I already filled them in on everything. Like, keep updated and, something's going to happen. Something's going to click and that miracle is going to happen. So make sure, just keep a cheery eye. Yeah, Donna came into my live today, Nancy, and, she kind of informed me of what was going on and everything. So yeah, take care of yourself and know that something amazing is going to happen that's going to pull you out of that mess for sure. Right? Yeah, we'll one of us going to hit it. I don't gamble, right? And today I went to the drugstore to get my bus pass for next month, even though I might not need it. Well, cross our fingers, right? But they have the plastic sheet over all the lottery tickets. So when you come up to the cash register, you can pick your lottery tickets, right? But I don't gamble. So I didn't buy a lottery ticket. I said, oh, that would just be like the perfect way for the universe, right? Just to nice and easy, buy a lottery ticket and win off the lottery ticket. But that's not how I want to win at this game. I want to win at this game because I deserved it and not because I was lucked out on something, right? I want to really, really earn this. So, and on the fact that I don't gamble, I said no, and I didn't buy a lottery ticket, right? But somebody will hit it big. I'll get my own kind of big lottery, right? I hope David comes in today. I picked up David something from work the other day. Let me show you what I picked up. David Lopez, our Franciscan, I messed that up. Our Franciscan monk, right? Hold on a second. This is what I picked up for him. It's a piece of copper plating, right? But I don't know what it is. It's antique for sure, right? I think it might be a mold, like a copper mold, maybe maybe for some biscuits or something, right? And look at it, has Jesus with his heart ripped open, and I saw that right away, right? I saw it right away, and I says, "Oh, you know what? That's for David." So David, if you watch my live later on, or if you come in later, we'll tell you about it. But if you watch our live later on when we're not here, this is for you. So I need you to DM me. I need your address so I know where to send it, right? Because as soon as I saw it, I said that was for you, right? I said that was for David. So email me and I'll send that off to you. And I hope it brings you lots and lots of good mojo. I was feeling really good about this thing, but like this is not me. This is you. This is for you, right? Okay, so email me and let me know on that. I need that address, right? So what else has been going on with everybody all week, right? Right? I expect that there's been a lot of because everybody's talking about it. We had a full moon yesterday. It was a blue moon in Taurus yesterday. Did everybody know that? I was 15 minutes later, I would have been a Scorpio. But yeah, yesterday I try to learn like bits and pieces of numerology, bits and pieces of a horoscope, bits and pieces of tarot, right? Actually, I'm not going to say I'm getting pretty good, but I feel the cards and I understand the cards pretty good. And the messages have been getting to me really well too, okay? So, right? I thought, maybe for religious biscuits, or, maybe they made little things at church or something, in clay, and then let the clay dry and they'd fire it and then make tiles out of it or something. I didn't know what it was, but I thought maybe, David would appreciate it, right? Maybe David would find a use for it. Maybe he could make like little tiles or something to go around wouldn't that make nice for like wainscoting? Is that what you call it, right? It's been so long, right? When the nice molding around the edges of the walls, and then just put those little tile plates all along. That would look so pretty, right? But I thought maybe he would figure out what to do with it, right? Oh, you're a funny man. That's a funny story. But it's so true, right? Sometimes we get these hunches and we think they're for sure, and we just bet the house on things. My dad did that all the time. Sometimes he won, sometimes he lose, but more often than not, he would lose, and then the whole family would suffer, right? But that's pretty funny, right? Yeah, I don't want to be playing the lottery in any way. I don't want to be gambling in any way, right? Right. That's true too. But I used to play lots and lots of video lottery terminals. I used to play lots when I worked in the bar and stuff, because I was an introvert, right? And I would go to work early. I didn't want to socialize with people and hang out with the drunk people and stuff. So I would go play video lottery terminals. And it made me feel good to be able to sit there in a social atmosphere, right? Wow. Right? That is, and just from that. Yeah, there's a lot of emotional issues, and it's being fed right now too, right? It's being fed right now. Everybody's got a little something going on, but you have to hack through it, and you have to have, places where you can, unload it, whether you're talking to yourself a little bit, or you, like me, I like to go off and do walks. And I like to come live, right? Because I dump lots when I'm going live, because I share. My job is to share my journey, right? And share how my life is going and show you guys my struggles and stuff as I try to, go after my dreams and make something of my brand, right? But so I use my platforms just to show my experience and stuff. So that's kind of a benefit for me. And that's why I always encourage people, if you have a conversation, I have the best moderators on my channel. I have the very best moderators. And then you had something that on your mind, or you had some insight that you needed, all you have to do is pop into the chat, put out that question that you just need answers to, right? Emotions. We understand emotions. That's why we're here. And on top of that, we understand emotions because we're doing this through our own experiences, right? All of us here, we study. We've been in here for years and years doing these lives, and we've come across lots and lots of people who have these emotional scarrings from childhood that, and we carry them. And lots of us, what we do is we manage some of them, because some of them cannot be, they've been with us for so long that, there's things that we need to be able to manage rather than try to eliminate. Other ones, while we definitely can eliminate them, and sometimes if we can eliminate some of those symptoms, then other problems just kind of disappear on their own, right? No, I truly believe that gambling should be left in the casinos. They shouldn't be allowed in bars at all, right? I understand addictions very well, because me sitting there, and I saw around me all the regulars. It wasn't just me that was addicted to the video machines. There are people still playing those same video machines that I stopped playing years ago now, right? Thank you, right? Because I remember I would cry. I would come home. I would spend all my tip money. I would be sneaky, and I would tell my husband that, I didn't make any money last night, or I was short. Like, I would try and cover my butt all the time, right? Trying to let people think that I wasn't a big loser when I truly was a big loser, and all I was doing was just wasting my money, right? And that's all I was doing. I was just sitting there and I was plugging the machines, and then I would feel like a big shot, like every once in a while, because you get a good win. But I always put in 10, 20 times as much as I ever took out of those machines, right? And just the mental anguish of it all. There were lots of times that I spent my rent money or spent my bill money, right? I put money in those machines before I put money into my own happiness many, many times. And that's what addiction does to you, right? 100%. Isn't that 401 just like the craziest highway? It's like I was so scared. And people actually were honking at me because I was driving too slow, and I was going like 110, 120, but they wanted me to go even faster down that highway. And they're all zipping and changing lines, and trucks get their own lane and stuff. And I was driving in between great big semis just because I wasn't used to it. I bet you there's lots and lots of accidents on that highway, isn't there, Dave? Yeah, the 401. I know that. I know that highway. Yeah, it was kind of scary. Okay, Andrew. Was there a song that Winner Takes It All? Is that from that movie? I know that song, Winner Takes It All. It was a slow song. I remember it was a very sorrowful one. And did she lose? Oh, okay. Okay. And then when she gambled one more time, did she lose it all? Gambling, because I used to say, I would feel so bad. I thought if anybody wanted to make a point, right? If anybody was going to kill themselves, or take their own lives because they were such gambling addicts, because I know it happens, right? These people, they lose their wives, they lose their husbands, right? They just because they're never home, because they become sneaky about the money, right? Oh, I was very sneaky about the money, right? Yeah, I was very bad into the VLTs. And I got that because, well, I'm not going to blame it on anybody because my dad was a gambler, right? So I had an emotional attachment to gambling. But I never ever thought I would quit. I never thought it never, I tried so many times just to break away from gambling and I never could. And, when I started my YouTube channel, it did. That's YouTube channel actually saved me from being a serious gambling addict, right? You never know because one addiction leads you to another, right? I started smoking at 27 years old and I only started smoking so that I could lose weight, right? Because I was 311 pounds. So I started smoking and it took me 10 years before I quit smoking, but that was a lot of money I wasted there, a lot of my lungs, and because I was a smoker, I limited myself to the men probably that who would have dated me, right? Who would have wanted to spend time with me because men don't want wives that are smokers, right? I remember going outside having a smoke in the wintertime and then coming in and I could smell it all over me. I just hated the smell of cigarette smoke on me. I just hated it. I wasn't a very good smoker. Like I wasn't a very good smoker because I believed that smoking should have been illegal too, right? But yet I was doing it. And by that time I was addicted to cigarettes by that time. But I quit the first time I went on the patch. My sister bought me the patches for my Christmas stocking. She do 3 different levels. She bought all 3 of them for my stocking. And I used them. And the first time I quit smoking, I quit smoking. I never smoked again, right? I never smoked again. And I stopped drinking too, but I was never a drinker, right? I was never a drinker, but I thought I'll never become like drunk again because when you're drunk, you do silly things when you're drunk, right? And then you could break the things that you've been working so hard to stop. And yeah, I didn't want to smoke cigarettes. I do that. Lots of things I do that. I get addicted to the stupidest things and then it just goes away. But that's part of my pica, right? Like I have a condition called pica. It's from my gastric bypass, which is my stomach stapling that I had, right? So what it does, it gives me when my iron gets really low and I don't take my B12s properly, what happens is I get this condition. It's called pica, and I pick up habits that and I'll eat things that are or I'll do things that are habitual, right? That I have to do all the time. And then when I get this condition, then I have to go for like 2 months, right? Because it takes a ton of B12 because you have to bring yourself to the top, right? And then you have to have reserves at the same time. So I had to take a ton of B12 and sometimes I would cheat and I would do Pellifer, right? I have the box. I do Palifer, and I do a course of this, especially with the virus, because this will help, right? This will help because this oxygenizes your blood, right? But and so I'll do a course of 2 weeks, and I'll take one of these before I go to bed because they're very acidic, right? So if I go to bed, then by morning it's already into my blood system, and I feel 100 times better when I take these. I'm very energized. I'm very awake. I feel really, really good, right? But yeah, Palifer, it's a really, really good tip, especially for right now, right? Because they say, it's the lack of oxygen, and whatever oxygen you can get into your system, the better, right? And being in my 50s, right? Even though I'm healthy, have been other people who have been healthy who have gotten sick too, right? Right? Raisins are a very good source of iron. They're very high in sugar too, but they're 100%. And actually, any purple vegetable or fruit will give you a really good alkaline base, right? So that's how you want to make sure you want to keep your blood, and that will help to keep cancer cells and stuff away, right? Any red fruit or any red vegetables, cherries, grapes, eggplant, plums, right? Blueberries. Blueberries are very, very, very good. But all those foods are really good for you, right? But 100% right, Andrew. What's even better is the raisins if you went to the dates. I love dates. I have matrimonial cake all the time, and it's a really healthy dessert to make if you really need your carbs and stuff. And you just use the oatmeal, right? And you just use rice flour or something, and you mix that in with your brown sugar and your butter, and yeah, you make a nice base with that, and then you add your boiled dates that you boiled down, right? You pour that over the base, and then you sprinkle it with more oatmeal brown sugar mixture, and you put it in the oven for 20 minutes, right? And you cut them into squares. You've got desserts, like really good desserts, really good for the system too, right? Really good for the system. Yeah, I can't because of my operation. I usually can't. I've tried to donate a blood a couple of times, and I've been refused, right? Because of my operation, because I have really low blood sugars, right? My blood sugars are really kind of swingy depending if I'm dieting or not, right? But yeah, it's strange, right? For somebody 311 pounds that I was so interested in nutrition, right? I've been on every single diet going out there. The only ones that really worked for me was the high protein diet, like the Dr. Atkins, which is almost like the keto, right? Almost like the keto. But hopefully the keto is a little bit better on the heart. I know the diet I went on to, it wasn't very good on the skin, and it wasn't very good on the hair, right? But my hair seems to be doing much better now. My hair is getting really, really long. I got it tied in a knot because I had to go out today, and I don't want to go out of the house with wet hair or damp hair at all, right? Because I want to do next summer, this coronavirus disappears, which I totally 100% expect it to, right? When it disappears, then I want to make sure that I have the most enjoyable summer ever. All the things I bought, I'm going to be having a big auction. I'm just saving the stuff. I'm going to put it away, and I'm going to save my stuff, and I'm going to put on an auction to buy a car. For March, I want to be on the road by April 1st. I want to be on the road. So I want to start collecting things. I got some amazing, amazing things for the auction. But let me show you one thing here. I'm doing a little packing and stuff, and today I cleaned another shelf, and I was so pleased. And I've been throwing out things. I've been throwing out my grandmother's candlesticks. I just threw them out, right? I just threw it out, and and I threw out my dad's gold gambling sweater. Like, I thought I would keep that until I thought I'd probably be buried in it, in truth, right? But I threw it out. I threw some of my mother's things out, right? Like, I'm not attaching myself. My favorite teacup, I broke it. I had this rice bone china royal family coral color with dragons, right? A museum piece teacup set. And I broke it packing it, right? And I've had it for years. But what I did find, remember I always told you about that trip that I took to Vegas with my dad, no, it wasn't Vegas. We went to Reno that time. We drove down to Reno. We had this red Dodge Monaco vehicle. It was a red Dodge Monaco, and it farted. This car farted black smoke out the muffler. It was a beater, and it was always stalling. I remember what us little kids, we had it for years, right? But I remember we drove down to Reno one time as a family. I'm going to tell a different story of Reno, but this one time we drove down to Reno all the time. My dad was a compulsive gambler. We drove down at least once a month, right, to Reno. And I remember one time getting stuck up in Mount Shasta. The radiator overheated, and when we were up in top of the mountains, and there was snow all over the mountains, and we had to stay up there because he had to wait until the snow melted so he could fill his radiator tank up, right? Because his car had overheated, and we got stuck up in the Shasta Mountains, up like in the mountains, like sharp cliff mountains, like way up top, right? And we spent that whole time roaming around in the bush, right? But this one time we went to Reno. It was just me and my dad. My dad picked me up from school. I heard my name on the PA system, the principal calling me to the office, and my principal said, "Your dad's in the parking lot. He needs you to go home with them," right? But in actuality, he just stopped in the parking lot to ask me if I wanted to go to Reno. Me and my dad, oh yeah, we went on road trips all the time. And right away I said, yes, of course, right? I got home, quickly packed my bags. We only usually went for a few days. It only took 24 hours to drive down to Reno. And when Dad drove down to Reno, we usually only had a few $100s in his pocket. In those times, there were no BLTs and no casinos in Vancouver, right? So if you wanted to go gambling, you went to Vegas or you went to Reno, right? Or you did poker games, right? Because he used to play poker at the Bayshore Inn with Errol Flynn, right? Errol Flynn actually had died in the Bayshore Inn in Vancouver from a heart attack. I don't know if you guys remember who Errol Flynn was, right? Yeah, so my dad picked me up in this beater Dodge Monaco, red Dodge Monaco he had, and we drove down, and we always stayed in this one motel because it had a swimming pool. And usually we went down as a family, but this time my mom had to work, right? She worked in hospitals, so my dad took me. But he rented these rooms with the swimming pool so I could be entertained while he went and gambled. Well, the second day he came back to the hotel and he says, "Well, do you want to come with me and stand in the lobby?" Because I wasn't allowed to go into the casino, but I could stand in the lobby. And he played the slot machines that were the closest to the lobby, so I could stand next to him. Within 5 minutes, he won a big one, like $1,000, and then he went and he doubled up his bet, and he won like more money, and then he bought these great big tokens for those great big ones that they put on the sidewalks, but it was inside the casino. And his second one, he hit like $5,000. And he still had more tokens left, and then he put those in there, and he hit some more, right? Right? I was my dad's lucky charm, right? And yeah, he packed me up at the Sands Motel. We went to the Mapes Hotel, which was the best hotel in all of Reno. And he drove up, and they had valet park, and we drove up, and the red Dodge Monaco farted black smoke. And the valet guy, he just jumped in, took my dad's keys, and went and parked the car. My dad had this great big penthouse up on the top floor, and he moved me in there, gave me a great big chunk of cash, so I could go get my hair done and go spend money and have an amazing time. And he went off doing the big time gambler. It was like the one time that he got to be a big shot, right? And we were only supposed to be there for a few days, and we ended up being there for a few weeks. Me and my dad were there for a few weeks. My mother was furious. I paid for that trip for years after that. Seriously. It was pretty rough, but it was worth every fantastic moment, right? That experience, I remember going to see Sinbad the Sailor, the 7 Voyages of Sinbad. So you can tell how far back we're going, because that was playing in the theater, right? That had just got released in the theater. Seven Voyages of Sinbad. So that's how far we're going back. And I remember going to get a designer dress with those models that walk around as you wearing the dresses, as you're looking at them, and I bought expensive presents for every member of my family for us to take back. And yeah, I remember it was the most amazing experience, right? It was the most amazing experience. And when we came back from that trip, my dad bought the most amazing car, right? Well, by now standards. Well, it would still be amazing because it would be a collector car, but at that time, it was some kind of Chrysler, big monster car, gold one, right? You wanted to be like the big shot, right? And it made him feel good. He felt like a big shot. He had enough money to put a down payment on another home for us, and yeah, and life was good for a little while. And then my dad had a stroke, and when he had a stroke, they took his driver's license away. And that's when he moved everybody to Winnipeg so he could get his driver's license back. My dad would always, my dad was a smart man. But anyway, on that trip, we went to the Prima Donna Hotel Casino. We went to this place, right? We went to this place, and he said to the waitress, "Oh, I'll give you $50 if I could keep this menu," because he loved the art. My dad loved the artwork on the menu, right? You can see how old it is. You can see the water damage, how dark it is, right? But I pulled it out from packing today because when my dad passed away, I took the menu. It was something he was very proud of. He had always had it sitting on top of the TV to remind him of that trip, because that trip was, even though it was an experience for me, it was even a bigger experience for my dad. It was one of those abundant, once in a lifetime wins for him to come back with tens of thousands of dollars, right? For us to be able to stay there for weeks and only going home because we had to, right? Because everybody was waiting. We were gone for 3 weeks. We were only supposed to be gone for 3 days, right? And to have that experience, the quarters and the dimes that you would drop in the machines on the beds, and then the beds would vibrate, right? I don't know if you guys ever went to Reno. I don't know if they even still do it now, but yeah, you put change in the beds and they would vibrate. But look, can you see the pricing? Can you see? I know on YouTube it's reversed, so you should be able to see the pricing of all this stuff. Look at the pricing of some of these things here. This is, I don't know what year we're going back. I think we're probably going back to 1977 or 1978, right? 1978. But look at this price here for ribeye ranch steak, served dinners with soup, salad, potatoes, rolls, and butter. $5.25, right? Isn't that crazy? A piece of cake, 75 cents. Sherbet, 50 cents. A prima donna beef burger with fries and coleslaw, $1.55. What? What? And isn't the artwork just beautiful on these things? But yeah, do you guys remember this kind of pricing on things? Isn't that amazing? How much for a pop? How much just for a pop? A cup of coffee, 30 cents. A glass of milk, 30 cents. A large one, 50 cents. A glass of pop, 30 cents for a glass of pop, right? So yeah, hot chocolate, 35 cents. Grilled cheese and bacon tomato sandwich, $1.95. Where do you get these kind of prices, right? You don't get these kind of prices anywheres anymore. So I was sitting here and I was thinking, right, this is an emotional attachment to gambling, right? To gambling. Not only that, it's an emotional attachment to my dad and an emotional attachment to a special time, right? A special memory, right? I even remember on this live telling that story a couple of times, right? That's how special an event it was in my life. So it makes me wonder. So it's been sitting here all day for me to make the decision. It's still in pretty good shape. It's a collectible. For sure, it's a collectible. Maybe I could donate it at work. It could be some, oh, I should have. I should have. I didn't even think of it. We did a window last month and it had a poker table. This would have gone good with the poker table, right? Yeah. Maybe she has another poker table and she's gonna do another auction at my work. And if that's the case, then I'll make sure that I donate this. I said everybody earlier today that my Hutch bottle that I dug out this summer, right? It's missing now because I donated it to my work for their Winnipeg display. They're going to do an auction on the city of Winnipeg. So I donated it. I donated it for they're doing a Coke display. So I donated it as a pop bottle for their Coke display, but in actuality, it's not Coke, it's Pepsi, right? Because that Blackwoods was bought out by the Seven Up Club, right? Or the 7-Up company. Oh, okay. Who wants to be normal, Dave? Seriously, who wants to be normal? Like, just be yourself, right? You'll always find people who will relate to you. It's like all of us, every single one of us in the chat are hugely different from each other. And yet we're the same, right? We're just trying to pass on that kindness and, try and get through life a little bit, having interactions with each other. It's going to get more and more common that our friends and the people that we interact with and our networks are all going to come from being online, right? They're not going to come from people that we know face to face. They're going to be from people all across the world, right? Yeah, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful to know lots of people from all around the world. Yeah. And they all have just as amazing stories, just as sad stories, and struggling, if not as much, then definitely more. For sure. There are lots of us out there, right? So you have to be grateful. Yeah, I did grow up in Vancouver, Dave. I did grow up in Vancouver. I was born in Vancouver. I moved to Nanaimo. My dad moved us to Nanaimo, I think, when I was 3 years old. Then we came back and lived in Vancouver. Then we lived in Port Moody. Then we lived in Fort Port Moody, I think they call Port Coquitlam. Then we moved to White Rock. Then we moved to Surrey. Then we moved to Burnaby. Then we moved to Hastings. Then we moved to Dawson Creek. Then we moved to, oh my gosh, all over the place. We moved Kelowna, Vernon, Peticton, right? I went to 11 different elementary schools. I was very lucky. We moved back to Dieppe. We lived on Dieppe Drive in Vancouver. And I was very lucky that I only had to go to 2 high schools, but I went to 11 elementary schools growing up, right? But yeah, I went to Frank, I think it was called Frank High School in Dawson Creek for a couple of years. And then I finished off, even though we moved a couple of times, I was able to stay in the same high school. And I went to Windermere Secondary in Vancouver, right? Windermere Secondary School. And it was an amazing school, right? And the last couple of years of being in high school, I actually made friends, right? Because all I needed was some time to settle in and find my network. But in elementary school, all those different schools, I never even stayed long enough to make friends, right? I never stayed long enough to make friends. And if I did make friends, I would be gone, right? And it would be very painful. So it got to the point where I didn't even try. After a while, I didn't even try to make friends because I knew what was the point. Dad was just going to whip us out. Well, that's not true. I always tried. I always reinvented myself, eh? Every time I went to a new school, I always reinvented myself as somebody different, but I couldn't change the way I looked, right? And by the time I was like 12 years old, I was probably pretty chunky, right? I don't have many pictures of myself, but I know if I wasn't chunky, in my brain and in my emotions, I had already been taught to feel that way about myself, right? So I had already felt that way about myself. So I slowly gained weight from that point on. But yeah, I'm from Vancouver. Oh, okay, Andrew. Yeah, lots of fun, especially when you're a kid. There are lots and lots of fun, right? Well, that's true too, right? Because they want you to come into their casino, so there's always something going. Whenever you stay in a hotel or a motel, you get a whole booklet of all kinds of really really neat coupons, right? Where you get free meals and free drinks. I remember my dad had his favorite waitresses that would be by like every 10 minutes, right? With a fresh drink, right? And they were free. They were free. They were free for you just to stay in their casinos and spend your money, right? Ha, funny man, Dave. Those are too sweet for me. I don't like Nanaimo squares. I don't like the white creamy ones and I don't like the green ones. I like each ingredient, right? Just a nibble teeny. Oh, but it's too sweet for me. I don't like those. But I do like squares. I like matrimonial cake. I like the turtle squares. I like the tart squares, right? But yeah, those Nanaimo ones, they're just too darn sweet for me. I can't eat those, right? And they're and I guess kind of because I don't do candy anymore, even though I do like the cow poops and stuff at Christmas with the coconut and the chocolate. Those are really, really good. But because they're homemade and baked, I don't consider them like candy, right? But yeah, those I'd have to just it would take me forever to eat one square. It would take me all day just to eat one square, and I wouldn't really enjoy it. I would just pick at it because, well, I would just pick at it because that's what I do, right? And that's been taught to me as a kid. Like you don't leave the table until your plate's clean, right? So you learn to eat everything on your plate. And I didn't necessarily like vegetables. It was a battle. It was a battle to get me to eat carrots. But I was pretty successful in my older years that they didn't even bother trying to put carrots on my plate. Sometimes at Christmas time, I always had to do a tablespoon that I would mix in with my potatoes, mashed potatoes, just to get it down, that mashed carrots and turnips. Oh, just hated that mashed carrots and turnips. Yet I love cooked carrots now. I just love, and I don't eat raw carrots at all. I don't eat, maybe a little bit in coleslaw, but other than that, I don't eat carrots at all. unless they're cooked. I love boiled carrots. Sometimes I kind of saute them with onions and butter and stuff too, but I do love carrots. Now, is that Jean-Claude Van Damme? Because for the past, it's really kind of weird that you just mentioned that, Dave. Because today and yesterday, I've been watching Jean-Claude Van Damme videos for 2 days now. I've never watched a video in my entire life. Oh, I was watching one of Evan Carmichael's live shows. That was one of them. And then another one was yesterday when he just kind of popped up on my screen like that. He was kind of dancing and singing and stuff. And I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. I haven't seen Jean-Claude Van Damme in years, right? Yeah. Is that the guy? The karate guy? Hi, Andrew. See if I'm talking about the right guy. Oh, I hate Brussels sprouts too, Dave. I hate Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts, those curly things. What are those curly things called? I don't like those either. They look like snails, but they're green vegetables. I don't like those. And I don't like what else? I don't like asparagus. I don't like asparagus, but I don't know if I don't like asparagus because I've never had asparagus as an adult. I've never had it. So if it ended up on my plate in a restaurant, I would have to try it just to see if I like it, right? That's really strange that you say that, Andrew, because, lots of guys hate peas. Lots of guys hate peas. I don't know what it is. I love peas, and I make an amazing pea soup. I should make one. I don't know why I don't buy a bag of peas. I've got the chicken base, and I got onion, right? Get a bag of carrots. I won't put any potatoes in it, but I'll put carrots in it. Yeah, I'll get a bag of carrots. That's what I'm going to do. I'm feeling like pea soup. I'm trying to figure out ways because if I make a big pot of pea soup, then what I can do is I can use the microwave, right? Instead of using the oven to heat the house up and stuff, right? Because it's so hot in here. They haven't fixed the heat. I don't think they intend on fixing the heat for me, right? So I'm just managing the best that I can. I'm sleeping pretty good. When I go to bed, I conk right out. Doesn't matter if I sleep 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, right? I still get up at the same time. But if I stay up late, right? Which sometimes I do. Oh, oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, but it's funny that you say that because I was watching Van Damme today and I was watching Van Damme yesterday. And he's getting older, right? He's getting older. And what was that movie? 1977 when it came out? Who saw that one? Bloodsport. Who remembers that movie? That's an old one. Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I really like that one. I've seen that movie many, many, many times. Many times. It's a good one. It's kind of like the Karate Kid for adults. Mm, yeah, funny. Fiddleheads. Yes, yuck. Fiddleheads. Forget that. Oh, right. I heard about Sean Connery passing away. He was in one of my favorite movies of all time, Highlander. How many of you guys remember that movie, Highlander? It's one of my favorite movies, the way it goes back in history and it goes to the future, right? Starts in the present and him and his wife in Scotland in the 1600s, right? In the castle and then or the tower And then them in the present where he's an art dealer, and then in the future when there can only be one, right? And what were they were invincible, they never died. Okay, Sean Connery, yeah. He was in a couple. Yeah, I never was a James Bond fan. I never was a James Bond fan. I know there's been lots of James Bonds, but never. And one of my favorite actors was one of the James Bonds, and I really liked him. He hasn't done a movie in a long time. The tall, dark-haired guy. He was more recent. I can't remember his name, but he played him, and you would think because I really liked his movies. He had his wife passed away, and then he got married again. Right now he's very happy with his life, because I recently saw a post on him recently too. No, not Timothy Dalton. I can't remember. He was in that Robbins Williams movie, when Robbins Williams played a female maid. He was the father of the kids. He was the father of the kids in that one, Mrs. Darkfire. Darkfire? Something like that, right? Yes, Pierce Brosnan, right? Wasn't he in a 007 movie? I was pretty certain that he was. Yeah, I liked him. I liked Pierce Brosnan. I thought he was a really good actor, and he kind of had that sophisticated suave kind of feel, right? When I saw the previews, like I said, I've never seen. I think I might have watched that one with the guy with the big silver teeth, the one with the wrestler in there. It was like Jabberwocky or something like that, right? But was that even a James Bond movie? I can't remember. Why is that popping into my head? Was that a James Bond movie? But yeah, I don't know why that popped into head. Maybe it was. Let me know in the comments there. Let me know. My cat scared me. He was jumping out of the window. Hey. Oh, now she's gonna lay out my coat because I left my coat on her bed. And she's perfectly content to do that. She loves to lay 'em. I love my cat. Like, my cat brings me so much happiness. She brings me so much happiness. She's the sweetest thing. She never complains. She's not a bother in any way. Like, her poop doesn't even stink. Like, not change your cat litter all week and her poop doesn't stink. I just love it. That's only because she doesn't eat wet food, right? Every once in a while, I'll give her a little bit of that gravy from the extra gravy, and sometimes she'll like that. But on the whole, she just sticks to the dry cat food, and she drinks lots and lots of water, right? Yeah. Well, I know they still sell the car. Like, I've seen that car go up for auction. They found it, right? One of the James Bond cars. They found it last year or something. And there were two of them. And they found like what do you call that when you make something for the first time? Yeah, so they found that one. So it went to auction and it went for a lot of money. I heard something about that, Dave. I did hear something about that. Oh, thanks, Owen. Yeah, I do. I love my cat. My cat keeps me grounded, right? It keeps me responsible, right? I need something to be responsible for. Otherwise, I'll just kind of flutter away, right? I'll just kind of do my own thing and not care what happens to me, whatever the circumstance. Because if I didn't have this cat, I would have no problem being a street person, but I have my cat, so I have a responsibility to make sure that she always has a roof over her head. Because no matter what, this cat stays with me until the end, right? Prototype. Yes, Andrew, that's what I'm talking about. Prototype. Yeah, he was a wrestler. Jabberwocky, right? He always wore the suspenders with the little tight shorts, and he was big, like he was over tall and over husky. I think even his height and his breadth, it caused him to have some serious health issues. I think he's even passed away now. Right? That was all was it Roosevelt that was doing all of that, right? Doing all that sneaky stuff. It, Hoover, right? Doing all kinds of sneaky stuff and stirring up the pot. All that mess with North Korea and everything. I heard it was all stirred up with them, but I'm not going to cause stuff in stuff that I don't understand, right? And we're just going to get Melvin all worked up, right? Because we know how passionate Melvin is about the politics, right? We don't want to get Melvin all worked up, right? Especially, like they had the presidents debating tonight, or not debating. Trump was having a rally, and I don't usually watch these things, but when I saw the football stadium or whatever it was, and I saw the people crammed in there without masks, like they were sardines, I shook my head. I can't believe that kind of stuff is actually happening. That would not happen here in Canada. That would be huge, huge news all across Canada. And it would happen once. It would definitely not happen again. The federal government here in Manitoba, or the federal government here in Canada, has actually given Manitoba a great big chunk of money. I think it was like over $2 million. It was a big, big chunk of money to help with making sure that the homeless are taken care of, right? Housing for the homeless. We don't want to get ourselves in a housing situation where, people are going to end up on the streets homeless, right? So yeah. So we're really, really grateful for that, especially to get that money in such a difficult time, what we're going into right now, right? Yeah. We're having about 400 cases a day here in Manitoba now, 400 cases a day. So it's really, really picking up. And they're trying to track and everything, but not fast enough. I do have the government app on my phone, and I put my phone in the work drawer at work last night. And I actually after standing at the bus stop for 20 minutes, I ran all the way back to work. My heart was pounding. The cold air had frozen my entire esophagus, right? And I ran to the back of the building, and I was so grateful the manager's car was still there, because it was the end of the night. He was tired too. I was so surprised after 20 minutes that he was still there, and I was able to get in there and grab my I lost track there, to grab my phone. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to do any lives this week. David, did you say David was here? David, is David gone already? He just popped in? Oh, did he just pop in and then he's just left? Oh, let's see if he's still here. David, if you're still there, I need you to email me, because I have something for you. I want to mail to you, right? I want to mail you something. So let me know if you're still here in the comments and you're getting this message. I would appreciate that, right? I know I've got your messages now. I don't know if it's in my emails or, oh, perfect. I want to send you this. I picked this up for you, David. I picked this up for you. It's some kind of mold. Look, it's an antique mold. Look at that, how beautiful it is. And I thought, is that for making little clay disc or wall tiles, or is that for making biscuits? Yeah, so I want to send this to you. It's copper. It's a beautiful copper copper mold plate. And I don't know what you'll use it for, but I want to put that in an envelope and I want to mail that to you. So as soon as I saw it, I said, that's for David. So David, if you email me your address, I will get that in the mail tomorrow. Even I'll mail that to you, right? I felt great mojo for it. And yeah, I want to send you a little something because I appreciate you here. And because something, as soon as I saw it, I said, that's David's. That's David. So make sure, okay? Email me. It's an icon. Well, it's an icon that I want to send to Mexico. It wants to come to you. It wants to come to you. So if you don't mind me sending it to you, I would love to send it to you. So make sure you send me your email. Look at it, it's Jesus, and look at, he's opening up his heart, right? He's opening up his heart, but it's definitely very old. Look at the patina on the inside of that copper plate, right? Look at the patina inside of there, so it's really old, but yeah, I loved it. And it's very heavy. It's very heavy too. So email me and I'll get that in the mail tomorrow. It's beautiful. And I hope you find a little use for that, or you could pass it on to somebody else. Maybe you can pass that on to somebody who needs it, right? You'll know when you get it what you want to do with it, right? But let me send it to you in the meantime. So send me your email. Okay, everybody, it's 9:00. That's the end of our live for tonight. It's time for some fruit. I'm feeling like some really nice cold fruit tonight, and I put some applesauce in the fridge. So I think I'm going to have a bowl of applesauce, and I'm going to call it a night. And yeah, thank you, everybody, for popping by. I hope everybody's doing great. I hope everybody is taking care of themselves and taking care of the people in their lives. And that this virus is not touching you. I want everybody to have that great mojo. And, I hope everything goes good with Nancy. And thank you, everybody, for popping in. And if you want to email me, right, contact me through Instagram, Facebook, email me. And I'm happy to chit chat. We could go live, or we could do a Zoom call if you just want to talk. And I'm happy to chit chat about anything. Okay. Okay, Asanka. Oh my gosh, we have not seen you forever. My dear friend from Calgary. Holy moly. It has been a long time. Holy cow, we were just signing off for the night too, right? We were just signing off. Is life treating you well? Is life treating you well, dear? Oh, I'm so pleased. This is my friend Asanka. We have been good friends for years and years, and we haven't heard from you in months, right? Oh, lovely. We were just signing off, but you should try and pop in and see us on Sunday nights. We would love to have you in the chit chats, right? Right? We'll love to have you in the chit chats. Okay. Oh, terrific, David. Terrific. I would love to, and I'll get that in the mail tomorrow. And I'm going to write you a lovely letter. And thank you so much for your support, right? Thank you so much for your support. Okay, everybody. That's it for tonight. We'll see each other next Sunday, right? Unless something happens and I end up with the job, and then it would be my responsibility to make sure that I'm coming on a little bit more often. But for now, yeah. Have a great week, everybody. Stay safe, and we'll see you next Sunday. Bye.